Hello, this is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre, and we are live today. I have a good one for you. We're going to be talking about U.S. mortgage lender loanDepot, and they have reportedly suffered a cyber attack that has caused the company to take its IT systems offline, and it's a big mess. Now it's preventing online payments against loans. You can't call them. So we're going to be talking about some details on this story. So I expect a lot of people to be watching this video because you are a Loan Depot customer. But even if you are not, you don't have a mortgage with Loan Depot, or you don't do business with Loan Depot, you're still going to want to listen in because we're going to be talking about how this can affect your business and what you should be looking out for. So to get started, loanDepot, it's one of the largest non-retail mortgage lenders in the United States. They have about 6,000 people, and they service approximately $140 billion in loans. So this is a huge company. And for you folks that are here in South Florida, or if you're just a baseball fan, you may have heard of loanDepot because they are the naming rights sponsor of the Miami Marlins Stadium. So if you ever see the Miami Marlins Stadium, it's called the loanDepot Park, and it's after this company. So on Twitter, I started to see a lot of feeds. When you go on Twitter, or X now it's called, and you start to see a big trending now. And a lot of people were talking about loanDepot and how they were having trouble logging into their systems. And then when they call customer support, they're not getting anybody. So that was kind of one of the first telltale signs that something is down. Now, to clarify, a lot of times when companies are unable to be reached or their systems are down, this is a preventive measure. However, it could also be ransomware. And ransomware is when basically the systems are locked, and now you can no longer, the employees and staff can no longer access the system, and customers on the external side can no longer access the system. Now, this is interesting because here again, we have another mortgage company. You may have remembered some of my videos where between myself and my podcast and the Security Squawk podcast, where we've talked about Mr. Cooper, we've talked about Fidelity National. So it really does seem that cyber criminals are now realizing that, oh my gosh, these mortgage companies, title companies, lending companies, they're dealing with money, and more importantly, they're dealing with people's information. We're talking about high sensitive information, financial, bank account information, socials, driver license information, passports, all of these things these institutions hold. And when they get hacked like this is what the bad guys are going after. So, and obviously loanDepot, they hold sensitive customer information. All of your bank, they are basically the bank for you, right? They're your mortgage company. They're a non-financial institution bank, but they essentially are your banking company. So, and this is not the first time, as I mentioned, only a month ago, Mr. Cooper had a huge data breach. They were down for weeks, and from some reports I get, they're still down in certain parts. And most importantly, Mr. Cooper recently reported that 14.7 million data records of their clients. So this is individual clients, 14.7 individual accounts that they have, and they're saying that their data was exposed. And in November, Fidelity National, one of the largest insurance providers in the U.S., their systems were offline for more than a week. And again, we have data loss. We have a lot of phishing and fraud that's going on. So we're going to now talk about what you should be doing if you're a loanDepot client, or if you're Fidelity or Mr. Cooper, or if you're just watching this because you want to know what should you be doing to protect your business. So let's first talk about on the consumer level. A lot of times, as we see with Mr. Cooper and Fidelity, once your social security number's out, folks, these are bad guys. And the reason that they're bad guys is because they are going to exploit all of your information any way possible. So now that they have your social security number, you know what they're going to do? They have your name, they have your driver license. They're now going to put this either on the dark web where they can sell this information. And once it's sold on the information, you're going to start to have identity theft. On the podcast, we talked about a guy, it was in Oakland Park, and how he got, because Oakland Park had a security issue similar. And after that, once his data was out in the dark web, he now started having retail companies open up, like, retail, like think of like a Macy's card started to open. He started to have the electricity companies open under his name and under his social. I mean, it was a mess, and he's still going through it over like 6 months later. So one of the first things that these bad guys are going to try to do is they're now going to use this information against you. They're going to try to open up accounts. They're going to, and a lot of times once these accounts are open, they're going to try to charge things on these cards and store cards. So it's a really, really big problem. Another thing that you're going to start to see if you're in loanDepot or Fidelity or Mr. Cooper or any type of data breach is you're going to start seeing a lot of more phishing emails. You're going to, for example, with Mr. Cooper, what's been reported is that you have now people with valid Mr. Cooper, accounts now getting emails stating, it's a phishing email. So it seems like it's coming from Mr. Cooper. And now it's stating, hey, we want you to update your bank account information, or you're late on your payment, click here. And once they click on the link, once you click on that link, it's going to try to download a malware, or it's going to ask you for your Microsoft login. It's going to ask you for your Google login, your bank login. It may say, we have to change our systems, and now we need you to now update your bank routing and ACH information. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to fall for that. So this is what the cyber criminals are going to do. So you as a consumer, you have to look out for these type of things. You have to make sure that if someone is if your information is out there, that you are not clicking on any emails you're not expecting. And if you get an email and it looks suspicious, don't call the number that's on the email. Look on your Rolodex, look at a past bill, and contact the company directly. You don't want to, because a lot of times what they'll do is the bad guys will actually put a phone number that they want you to call. And it's going to be an American. Don't think it's just going to be, someone in another country with an accent. They now have Americans or people, even if it is still overseas, but with great American accents that you won't even be able to tell. So this is a big, big issue with what's happening with these companies, with loanDepot and Fidelity and so forth like that. All right. So another thing, if you're a business owner and let's just say you weren't affected by this, one of the things that you should have in place in your business is that if you have, a work from home office, or if you have a physical office, it doesn't matter. You need to protect your data better. There should be no reason why a hacker can go into a computer system and just within one click or one mistake of someone clicking on something, be able to then take 14.7 million data records. And just to clarify, it's not even data records, because the data records are more. These are 14.7 million clients that loanDepot is now saying that there's, with Mr. Cooper, that the information is now out there. So the data records are way more. So you have to have a system in place that either encrypts the data, so anything sensitive is now what is called putting ones and zeros. So even if the bad guy was to have this information, they couldn't see it. You want to have a system in place that if you have that much data leave your organization, your IT department should be getting alerts to say, look, on a regular day, we have about a terabyte of information that goes in and out of the network. However, for some strange reason, on a Sunday at 3 a.m, it just spiked to 3 terabytes. I'm making up the numbers, but it's just basically saying if on normal days, your network traffic is like this, and all of a sudden it spikes and there's no planned projects or IT is not doing some type of migration, you should be made aware. Your IT department should be made aware of this, that you should have these type of alerts. It's very, very important. So as we start to get more information about what's happening with loanDepot, we'll give you more updates, but we just wanted to kind of be first on the news or on the media news when it comes to this, to talk about what you should be doing. You can look up on our YouTube channel and my LinkedIn channel for more updates. And if you're just watching this, as I see, we have a lot of people just now coming on. We just are wrapping up our video. We like to keep these usually under 10 minutes, but loanDepot was just via email this morning to one of the newspapers, did admit, and through their filings with the federal government, because they are a Fortune 100 company, and they report to the SEC because they have shareholders, and they did have to disclose per law that just started that that they had a data breach, and they're investigating it. And unfortunately, when we've seen this in the past, we then see treasure troves of data now get out there. So if you are a mortgage company, a lender, title company, financial services, it's no coincidence that in the last 3 months, these huge companies, and don't think that, oh, I'm such a, loanDepot, Mr. Cooper, they're coming after the big companies. No, these are the ones that's making the news. No one is too small to be hacked. You're just too small to make the news. And this is what we're seeing in our company all the time, where we're getting calls for remediation, and clients, potential clients, are calling us to say, oh my gosh, this happened. What should we do? Those little, 10-person offices, 50-person offices, that's not going to make the news. Even if you went to the local newspaper and said, look, this company got hacked and this is all that's happening, that's not going to make the news. It's these big companies that's making the news. So while these small businesses in the United States are suffering, but nobody, to be honest, nobody cares. You file a report with the police department. They're going to say, well, this is, telecommunications. This needs to go to the FBI. You go to the FBI, they'll take your report. But that's just going to be for statistic purposes only. They are not going to help you. No one is going to help you. This is why you, as a small business owner, you have to prepare yourself and make sure that you're ready. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you need help with your business to make sure that you're in this predicament, let us help you minimize your risk. Because, even with loanDepot and Mr. Cooper and Fidelity, where they probably have millions and millions of dollars in the cyber budget, it's not, none of this is guaranteed. But what we want to do is we want to put layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of protection. And this is what we do here at Arc Solvers. So give us a call, 786-664-8275, or you can go on our website and book a 15-minute complimentary appointment with me, and we can talk about how we can protect your business. Take care. Bye-bye.